Hi there and welcome to the Miserable Gamer Guy. This is a sister channel to my first channel, which is the custom model guy, which is all about scale models and making scale models and videoing me making scale models. Now I have two interests in my life: scale models and gaming. And when I'm not making scale models and making videos of me making scale models, I am playing games. So I figured I might as well record myself playing those games. I know there are thousands and thousands of people out there already doing it, but I thought I might as well give it a go. Now, why the miserable gamer? I'm not miserable. I'm just antisocial. My wife says I'm not antisocial, I'm just anti-idiot, basically. But I just don't suffer fools very well, and I just enjoy my own company. Now, for gaming wise, I have been playing games since the days of the ZX Spectrum, and I was part of the 80s and 90s demo scene on the Atari ST. I was a member of a crew alongside people like the Care Bears, the Lost Boys, Mad Max, and many others. The scene is still ongoing, although I don't do that much in it anymore, really. Now, sort of game, I love indie games. I love indie titles. Don't get me wrong, I love AAAs as well, but I find they're very much the same. They're just run, gun, shooting, and there's no thought gone into it. Like, the Call of Duty series is dead as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Wildlands is coming out soon. That does look good. It looks along the lines of Far Cry. Open world. I love open world games. I hate linear stuff, but I love the indie titles, and I love finding those little niche games. And this is one that I found a couple of weeks ago. Oxygen not included. I love this base building sort of game, and I've had a brief go at this just to familiarise myself with all the workings and how it goes and things like that. And there has been an update since I last played it. Let's just get on and play some Oxygen not included. Okay, this is taking a little bit longer than it was before. Okay, so assemble your crew to begin. So we've got level 2 miner, level 12 artist, and level 6 artist. Let's shuffle the level 6 artist. Level 7 scientist, okay. He's uncultured, that's fine, and yokel. He's a yokel? He's a yokel. Bottomless stomach. Okay, shall we shuffle him or keep him? No, we'll keep him. And we are the not so lunar supernova. That's fine, let's keep that. Okay, so your crew is awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. It might be best to start digging. Okay, so from what I remember about this, you have oxalite, which generates oxygen, which helps you off in your early game, because it takes some time to get some bits and pieces together to actually start generating your own oxygen. Copper ore, that is essential for building machines, and then you have sandstone, which is a raw mineral for building things such as let's pause this for a second. Building sort of things like cots for your what do they call them? Dupes they call them. Algae, that is essential for generating oxygen as well. You can generate algae later on with a fermenter, I think it is. But first off, we've got to do water is essential. What do we have? We have some contaminated water down there, contaminated water there, some more water there. That's oxygen. It's barely breathable. Huh? That's a vacuum, oxygen breathable. Okay. What have we got down here? We've got some granite down there. Obsidian is essential for building pipes and liquid pipes and gas piping. We've got some more algae there. Right, okay, so what we've got to do first, we've got to get the cots built and a toilet built. So we need to dig out some of this first. And what I like to do is put the cots above. So then this oxygen generation here will help them sleep. So first off, dig. I'm trying to remember the shortcut key. So let's dig that out first, and then dig that out. And then we can build some flooring in. And we'll put the ladder up there. Not enough materials. Excuse me while I just slurp some coffee. It's early. Okay, so let's pop that across there. Pop that across there. There. And then we're going to dig that out. So yeah, we've got to get some cots built, some toilets built, and then we need to start off with some power generation so we can start using that algae to generate some oxygen ourselves. So because this oxalite will degrade and disappear, as you can see, it's going down 181 kilograms. It just drops and drops and drops. And now you've got ration box here, which has got, and there's a little display on the front there you can just about see. That will keep us fed for some time. Now this printing pod, as you can see, the timer's ticking down, 1,367 seconds. When this starts flashing, we can then pull in another dupe, and we can select his traits. Now this game is all about managing the oxygen, because it's oxygen not included, of course. But you can section the base off with doors. This first pneumatic door is useless basically because it allows gas or liquid to flow through. So I don't see the point in that. But once we can build a station, we can start researching. I can't look at the research yet. But then we can open up things like pumps. We can start piping liquids into certain places, and you can even go as far as creating oxygen. I've done this before where I created oxygen in a room, and that creates oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen gets pushed to the top of the room, so I had a pump at the top of the room which was pumping hydrogen to a hydrogen power generator. And then the oxygen at the bottom was being pumped into gas pipes, which is then piped around the base and is allowed out of the pipe via the occasional vent. But that's a long way off. Okay, the other thing that I find is good to do is, if we do that, now if you put that base tile there, if we put the toilets over here, that tile there will contain any spillage from the toilet. Because it will spill. Sometimes they throw up, they mess themselves, all sorts. Right, so plumbing, outhouse. Let's plop the outhouse there. And we need furniture, we need a cot. 1, 2, 3. More coffee. You have to excuse me sniffing. I'm just still getting over a cold. It ended about two weeks ago. I just got this residual. Ugh. And that doesn't help me being miserable. You know, I hate getting a cold. Nobody likes getting a cold. Right, so they built 1 cot. We've got to get 3 in total. That's not going to work. We've got to dig higher. Right, once they've got a toilet built, that's great. So now they've got somewhere they can go to the loo. Right, come on, build those cups. Once this oxalite is exposed, that will help, because look, we're barely breathable up here at the moment, so you can see them holding their breath. What we can do, oh no, we haven't got the gas permeable tile. You can make tile, you can put tiles down, because at the moment this is blocking. No oxygen or anything from down here will pass up. It will pass up through the ladder, but not much. But you can put a gas permeable floor tile in, so to allow the transfer of gases through the levels, which is really handy. Right, he's gonna dig there. We've got 2 cots. Coffee. Coffee. My name's John Coffee. Like the drink, just spelt different. Right, so we've got to watch our food up here, top left-hand corner. Oh, you can't quite see it because of the watermark. Let me just... so we've got 20,000 kilocalories of food. We've got 3, and we have a cycle as well. We have 3 dupes, and we also have a cycle as well. Close these off, don't need those. Warnings as well. Colony requires a food source, and we have a cycle. And you've got daytime, and then it's a little squidge of nighttime. When it's nighttime, they'll run off to their cots and go to sleep. There has been an update since I last played this, but I'm not entirely sure. I think they just did some bug bashing. Excuse me. Right, so my plan is we'll dig this out here. We'll make a we're going to make a food microbial. Okay, so if we build the microbial thresher, but you notice bottom left hand corner there's like a 3-pin plug socket, so which means that this needs power. So to create power in the first instance, we have down here on the left hand bottom corner we have a manual generator. It's like a pedal cycle thing. They have to jump in and pedal it, and we have a tiny battery. So we have wire, battery, manual generator. There's the 3 starter things. They'll jump in, they'll pedal, power the battery up, and the wire will pass that power around the base. And we can set up things like lights and yeah, we have a floor lamp and things like that. But one of the main things we need is the algae deoxidizer, and then what they do is they pop algae into that and it creates oxygen, but it needs power as well, so we have to run power. And what I tend to do is I tend to put an oxygenizer either side of the ladder, and now that helps to permeate around the base. So we can actually pop. Oh, this, when you actually put this on, this gives you an idea of how breathable the air is. At the moment we're doing good. We've got very breathable air, but we do have some spots down here. Now if we hover over that, you see flashing down the bottom there we've got oxygen, carbon dioxide. So we've got a little bit of carbon dioxide building up. Now obviously the dupes, they expel carbon dioxide, so that will gradually get worse and worse and worse. But you can deal with that. when we get the research station built up, you can build a filter which will filter out the carbon dioxide. Right, so let's get this dug out and build the floor in. Now I tend to make my floors 4 deep everywhere. It just allows you to run some piping in later. If you make them, you can make them sort of minimum of 2. But if you do that, you don't have much room for adding stuff in later. So what I tend to do is this. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now if we go along there, that will give the dupes access to some water, which they'll need for making the food. See, now it's flashing there because we've got no power going in at the moment. So what we need is power generator and a battery. Now we can link those two together. See, now they're linked, and then we can run the power cable. No, run the power cable into there. Now up here at the top right hand corner we have a list of stuff that we've got. So we've got 17,000 edible field rations, but initially the microbial crusher creates mush bars, which is made from dirt and bottled water, but it may cause diarrhea. Lovely. When we look up here, we've got cultivatable soil. We have 2,218 kilograms of dirt so far. Obviously dirt is quite abundantly available, but later on, once we get farms, we can make lice loaves, which means lice, meal lice and bottled water. But we've got to research the farming to be able to create that. Coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I've got to the stage now where if I don't, I get headaches. So coffee is basically a drug. You know, it's a drug, but it's a legal drug, which is great. Okay, so we've got some overlays as well. We can look at that oxygen overlay. We've also got a power grid overlay, and you can see here that the wheel generator will create 400 watts. The battery will suck up 100 watts and it will store it as well, and the microbial musher will take 240. So we're working in positive at the moment. So 240, 340. So this is generating more electricity than we are using. Now there's also temperature. We start off in a nice cool temperate region, but as we move further and further out, it gets warmer. So then you have to take into account heat, and you have to help keep the dupes cool. Lighting. So the duplicate printer generates some light, but apart from that, they're working in pretty much darkness apart from their guns. Later on, we can put up some electric lighting. Liquid plumbing overlay, we don't have anything there. Gas plumbing overlay, nothing yet. Decor overlay. Obviously, we've got the arch is giving us some decor, but apart from that, we're in red because we've got nothing so far. And then you've got a priority overlay. Now the priority is basically everything is set to 5, which is medium. You can set things to priority 9. Say you've got lots going on, lots of stuff lined up, and you want to get something done quicker. Say we want to prioritize on this. We can go down the bottom, click on prioritize, click on 9, and then left click, and they will then leave all that and run over here and do that, which is great. You can also set, see when the battery is charged up at the moment, so they'll leave that alone until it reaches 50%, and I like to set that at 25%, simply because that's what I like to do. And you can also set a priority level for how they treat this. So you can say if you set that to a 7, they will leave if you have some digging which is set to priority 5, they will, if the threshold drops to below 25, they will drop that and run to that. So I like to set it at 7, so I leave sort of like the higher levels 9 for more higher priority stuff. Right, okay, so we've dug all this out. Have they done the... Yeah, that's been plugged in. Right, okay, so now we need to fabricate some mush bars. So let's... If you click, you can click it once, or you can click the continuously. So they'll just keep on making. So we'll just leave that going for now, and they'll... Right, they're struggling down there because there's no air. Okay, so... we've got plenty of air up there, so let's create an algae deoxidizer. Pop one of those there, but we've got to run power to it. So I tend to run my power up and down the ladder. And the other thing we need is a station, research station. We need some more metal for that. So let's dig that out. You can see raw metal up here. We've got virtually none at the moment. Might as well dig all that out as well, so we've got room for the oxidizer to work. Coffee. Still can't build it yet. What do we need? We need 400 kilograms. So we've got 248 so far, so we're getting there. Right, we need to bridge that across so they can get up there. And let's prioritise that. Get them to do that quickly. And you can see the mush bars. Now the problem with the mush bars is they just drop to the floor. But later on we can build a refrigerator. And we can also, later on as well, we can build a cooking station so they can deep fry the mush bar, and that removes the risk of diarrhea, which is great. Always a good thing to remove the risk of diarrhea. And let's just neaten that up a bit, digging that out. Now we've got some plants up here, and none of those are really any good. Bristle blossom. Well, we can harvest that, but I'm not sure what we can use. What we need is a plant that has white things. Mealwood, there we go. That's a immature mealwood tree or plant. So we can dig that up for the seeds, and we can plant that in the planter boxes later on. There's some creatures up there as well. There we go. Look, you can see the mealwoods there. See, if we can get up there, we can grab that, and that's ready for harvest. So we can plant those. Right, they're all off having a nap at the moment. So let's speed up night time because they're not going to do anything. Wakey wakey, guys. There we go. Right. See, he's down there and he's sucking the water up, and he'll deliver the water to the microbe musher. Coffee. Right, still don't want to have it. Come on, I need you to dig this up. Make that a priority, guys. Come on. Go do your work. Alright, so we've got 19,000 calorie bars. 19,000 worth of... I don't know what you call it. 19,000 worth of calorie. Right, see, because they're all working on this... My battery has died. Let's see, what is my... So that's 120. So that's 240, 360, 460. So at the moment we're exceeding our generation. They're having something to eat now. Oh, they say cute. Seth's a bit out. Yeah, is that? Well, that says Leah, but okay, shaved side of the head. Okay, yeah, I suppose so. Seth's a bit outnumbered. He's we're low on the man count. Right, we can build the station. So we can build the research station. Now the research station takes, I don't know how much. It's not cheap, I don't think. It won't tell me until... no, it won't tell me until it's actually built. Alright, so let them come and build that. And we can start some research. Come on, guys. Mash that copper ore. Come on, we need somebody on the battery, on the treadmill. Go on, Seth, do your stuff. Alright, you can see the microbial and the algae deoxidizer is kicking out oxygen down there, so that will permeate up through the ladder area. But the toilet area is creating carbon dioxide, so we need to be able to sort that out. Let's dig that out as well. Right, he's grabbing some water for the mush bars. See, it's difficult in these early days because you've got Seth who's running in he's creating electricity, and he'll have to keep on doing that because we're sucking more power. Oh, he's just stumbled. Because these guys are sucking more power now than we're creating, so that battery will drain quickly. So Seth's going to have to, or one of them at least, will have to keep running on that treadmill. So we lose guys to that completely. We're constantly creating food to make sure we've got a stock, so we lose someone to that completely. And Leah has to keep running water backs and forwards, so you get stuck in this loop early on, trying to balance all of this. Right, the supercomputer. How much is the supercomputer? The supercomputer only uses the research station only uses 60 watts, which isn't too bad. And now we can have a look at the research. So we've got farming tech, which is essential early on, and you need 20 research points. So we select the research here. And you've got gas piping, liquid piping, power regulation, which gives you a bigger battery. The gas piping, liquid piping is obvious. It just allows you to pump and transfer liquids and gases around. A power switch, which I tried to use, but I think it was a bit bugged. And you have a wire bridge, so if you have separate circuits, you can jump one circuit with another. Interior decor, another important one, because you get the ceiling lamp, which gives you power, amongst other things. Then we go on to fine dining, which will give us the refrigerator, and the cooking station, which will remove the diarrhea risk. Temperature modulation, which we don't need straight away, but later on that will be important. Pressure management, this allows us to create airlocks, and there's liquid and gas valves there. Airlocks will allow you to so if you got an area, say like with a coal power generator that's creating a lot of carbon dioxide, you can actually segregate that off, which is handy. Sanitation sciences, air deodorizers reduces threat of disease by filtering contaminated oxygen. We have a proper lavatory, hand sanitizer, manual airlock, and a shower. I'm looking for... we have the biodistiller, which converts slime into algae. Slime is dangerous stuff because they get sick by being in contact with it, so you have to be careful. If you just drill straight up and go straight into a slime bank, what happens then is the slime drips down into your base, so you have to create like an airlock, a dual airlock situation at the top there. Electrolyzer produces oxygen out of water, and we also have a water purifier. We have an air scrubber. That's the one thing we really need, the air scrubber, which filters carbon dioxide from the air, but you have to pump water into it, and I believe it also creates wastewater, so you have to deal with that as well. And then we have combustion, which gives us the coal generator, the hydrogen generator. So first off, we're going to create the farming tech, and then once we've done that, we'll do the interior tech, get those two up and running. So we select it so it's pink, and then we go to our research station, and we've got novice research. Now we need to build 20 of these. So the easiest way is to select it, and that needs 100 kilograms of dirt for each one. So that'll be 2,000 kilograms of dirt that we will need, and we have 6,400. Bear in mind as well, the dirt is also responsible for creating our food, so we need to be careful. Too much research means that we will run out of dirt to create food, so we have to make sure that we keep digging this stuff up. Now it's quite, as I said, it's quite abundant, but when you start moving away, see there's algae up there, there's some coal there, you start moving away and you get into the more exotic materials. And here's all the slime, there's contaminated oxygen, there's clean oxygen there. Haven't seen any hydrogen yet, which is pink. No hydrogen. I've tried pumping the hydrogen into a hydrogen generator, but it just seems to not create stuff very weird, not work very well, to be honest. Because apparently what you have to do is, when you come across, say this was hydrogen, what you have to do is pump oxygen to the bottom, which will push the hydrogen to the top and pressurize it. If you just try and pumping the hydrogen as it is, the pump creates a vacuum around it, and it doesn't pump very well. Right, we can pull in a new dupe. So let's choose a duplicate. Right, so we can't shuffle these. So we have level 8 artist, level 2 technician, and level 8 chef. I think we'll go for the chef. He's got an iron gut. He's dimensionally inept. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so I think I will leave it there for this episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Please hit that likes and subscribe button if you enjoy this, and hit that notification button to be informed when I release a new video. I hope to see you next time. See you later.